Welcome back to Living Local. It's no secret that the transition from war to civilian life is not easy for service members or their families. Add mental illness and the already difficult experience can become a debilitating one. The National Alliance on Mental Illness, or NAMI, offers its Homefront program that's designed to address the unique needs of family, caregivers, and friends of those who have served or are currently serving our country. Joining us in studio today, we have NAMI Homefront instructor Suzanne Weiss. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So Suzanne, can you remind us, what is the mission of NAMI?
NAMI provides advocacy, education, support, and public awareness for so that all individuals and families living with mental illness can build better lives.
Wonderful. Yes, such an important mission for our community and for the world as a whole. What do studies show us about military service members and mental health? Because we know that there is a correlation there.
Right. So a recent study has shown that almost 1 out of 5 of the men and women who have been deployed to Iraq or Afghanistan live with severe depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, which is also known as PTSD, and they've experienced more traumatic brain injuries than any other previous military campaign. So the problem is when they return, they have not only physical pain but psychological pain. And one of the most tragic things is we've lost, since 2004, when we first invaded Afghanistan, we've lost more service members to suicide than we have to combat.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so the families are affected, obviously. The returning service members come back, they have difficulty adjusting to civilian life because of the pain. They have daily life disabilities, face unemployment. Families are confused, they feel isolated, no one understands them, they're angry, they feel lost.
Oh my God. Suzanne, I had no idea that we lost more service members to suicide since 2004 than in combat. That's just, it is bone chilling just to hear that that is the fact that we're facing, which is, I'm sure, one of the many reasons why NAMI Homefront was created. So tell us about this, this program and what it does.
Right. Originally it was developed with the cooperation of the United States Army. It's an adaptation of NAMI's evidence-based family-to-family course, only it is for our military service members' families. And it is, it's been taught since the late 1990s in VA facilities, but only here since 2017.
Now, who is this NAMI Homefront designed for?
Great question. It's actually for the family members, caregivers, close friends of our military service members and veterans. So not actually for the service members and veterans themselves, but for their families.
Wow, what an incredible service, because I think that often those people are forgotten about, because we know that mental illness, of course it affects the person that's going through that, but it also, it has this ripple effect on the loved ones around that person that's dealing with that. So how often does NAMI Homefront meet, and what are those meetings like? What can people expect?
Exactly, that's good. We try to offer the course once or twice a year. And there's 6 sessions once a week, 2.5 hours. They're taught by family members of people with severe and persistent mental illness and veterans. So it's an informal classroom setting where 2 co-teachers present materials, and then there's time for discussion.
Wow. So the people that are presenting are people that have gone through this, whether it's a family member or a service member themselves, and as she mentioned, a very casual environment, so it can be, it's just more conversational than it is maybe more like a classroom. It's just more like a conversation. So what do you think that participants can gain from these meetings?
It's very positive. Education is the #1 thing. So you begin to understand the signs and symptoms of severe and persistent mental illness, including PTSD, and then how to treat that, treatments that are evidence-based, therapies, medications, and their side effects. They learn how to manage crisis, solve problems. We have a wonderful class on communication, which is probably the most powerful class. How to manage stress, how to take care of yourself, how to access federal, state, and even local resources. So you develop confidence and stamina and compassion to support your family member.
Well, I'm sure that the participants really appreciate all these tactical strategies and tools that you're giving them so that they can learn more, get some creative ideas on how to approach some of these issues that they may have otherwise not known how to deal with. What kind of feedback have you guys gotten about the NAMI Homefront program?
Yes, it's always been positive. From our last class, one of our wives said that before taking the class, the kind of support she received was actually more harm than good, because they just didn't understand the military kind of combat injuries and mindset. And so she said afterwards she felt like she got her perspective back. She had strategies for dealing with their problems. She said she could finally feel like she got to the root issue of their problems. So she had she didn't have the hopelessness. She was able to rise above the frustration. One of the really precious things she said is camaraderie is not just for the military. It was so tremendously comforting going through a NAMI Homefront class and meeting and sharing with someone else walking the same path as me.
It's incredible that you're having that type of impact. How can people register for NAMI Homefront?
Yes, you can register by calling the NAMI GMV office, and that is, the number's probably on there, 563-386-7477, extension 266. Or there's also an online link on the NAMI GMV website.
Fantastic. Multiple ways to get plugged in. Suzanne, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
For more information, you can visit namigmv.org. We'll also have the details posted on ourquadcities.com.